In this lesson, we'll be animating with the cylinder slice. Okay, so we got our cylinder slice looking pretty good in our last lesson, but now we need to actually go in and animate those slices. So let's come in here. I'm just going to kind of get that into place so I can kind of see it from an angle, and we'll start with our 54 since that's the one that's kind of almost like it's a clock, like it's starting at 12 and moving around. So if we go into the slice tab, I don't really want to change where it's coming from, just where it's to. So note that that says 102. And the way that I can animate that on is starting it also at -90 and then bringing it up to 102. So how long do we need for that to come on? Well, I would say I'd like to give it about 15 frames. Let's just see how that looks. So I'll control click there at 102. Then we'll go back to 0 and type in -90. And I'll control click again to set another key. You can see that goes on really nicely. Okay, so then on that same frame 15, or maybe even move one up, it's up to you if you want to stagger that in that way. So small little change. We're now at our 2% value. So let's come in here to this one. We'll key, let's see, we gave this 15 frames the first time. So we'll go to frame 30 and we'll key the 2 at 110. And then we'll go back to frame 15 and we just have to copy that 102. So we'll just put 102 in as where we want to start it, key it, and you can see how that's going to come on just like that. And the reason why I have these all as different pieces is because it's going to be really easy to texture this. In fact, we might want to go ahead and do that in just a few lessons, just so that it's easier for us to tell those pieces apart. It's going to make working on it a little bit easier. So we're ending up here at 30, and that's where we'll want our next one, 43, to begin. But we want to go 15 past this one as well. So we'll take that over to 45. We'll grab our 43 and key our 2. So control click the 2. Back to 30, and then we'll change our 266 down to 110. So it becomes really easy for you to just look at the two values and just plug them in as the start and the end. So then we're on 45. We'll come into our 1% and we'll go ahead and key the 1% 15 frames after 45, which is going to put us at 60. We'll key that 270. Go back to 45 and take 270 down to 266. Now you may think that's a really long time to let that tiny piece come on, but I like doing it this way because it gives us more of a chance to notice that such a small piece is being revealed. So we'll definitely want to add some visibility tags to these so they're not just there, or we could actually add a little bit of a scale animation, maybe so that they don't start so abruptly, but they kind of come up from the middle and out, sort of like this. So maybe what we could do with this is actually kind of change up that outer radius a little bit. That could be an interesting way to play with the scale animation and then also have those pieces still feeling like they all fit together. But I really like the timing of this, and I love the way that Cinema 4D is automatically giving us that ease. So we get kind of that wax and wane in the motion. Now we still need to deal with this text, but don't worry, we will be covering that later on in the lesson. For now, we'll just leave it there. And what I want to focus on is not having these big pieces here. So I think we can solve that with a scale animation. So let's come back in our next lesson and begin the process of scaling those up as a way to introduce those flat planes and then kind of transitioning into the actual piece of the pie.